Welcome to some more Selene APOPTOSIS, guys. Gonna get right into it. I didn't realize you still have that cupcake eating. Oh. Okay, that don't mean eat my shit. Like, you already starting off. She noticed for the first time that the whites of his eyes were pinkish and full of broken capillaries. Her smile slowly faded. Come on, maybe you've left the keys unattended somewhere. Go. I'm gonna put it on auto. Be right back, guys. Oh, there it is. Wow, it was actually really close. I'm just blind. Alright. You sure none of your colleagues would play a joke on us? Yes, a joke. Hope pulled her chair closer to Ethan and took his hand. Let me go back a little bit. Ooh, that sounds odd. I mean, okay. That was weird to say. Tired total idiot. A naked girl in their kitchen? Yeah, sure. He probably overworked. Finally got whatever. Jesus, that was killing me. There was something in my eye, guys, and that was this whole time. He squeezed Hope's fingers lightly. I promise. Sorry, I'm a moron. Why don't you call Laura? No. A shrink is the last thing I need right now. My bad. Sure, but that'd be just too cruel. What I need is to finish that project. After that, all the gears in my head will fall into place. I give you my word. Don't be like that. I mean, there's no need to start full-fledged therapy anyway. Sometimes talking through your worries with a professional is all it takes to feel better. At least, I shouldn't have pressed you. Oh, that was her talking. Pressed you on it. I get that you have enough problems of your own right now. How's it going in your new position? Hope rested her head on his shoulder and shrugged. Ethan kissed her forehead, closed his eyes, and squeezed the bridge of his nose. Well, I'm not ahead of a department as of yet, but I seem to have the same stuff on my plate. Just how do you manage not to pester me with stupid questions? That's not healthy. Hope poked Ethan's cheek a couple of times with her finger. That's not healthy, don't do that. Anyway, don't worry. Yeah, that's right. What? She let the stray cat in too? A cat? What cat? Hope sighed and pulled away. Hope, we've talked this over already. Damn it, Hope. This is my apartment and I... Wow, Hope finished her tea in a couple of gulps. She stopped at the door, not turning around. Hope I... Wow. See you tonight. He didn't know what else to say, so he followed Hope into the hall like a silent shadow. Ethan sighed. He regretted his decision to talk about the night episode. He regretted how the talk turned out. He felt sorry for himself and for Hope. After all, Ethan was well aware of that. He really didn't spend enough time with her. At first because of the agency project, now because of the question to which he still could not find an answer. It was time to end this. He's going to make some coffee, then he'll open the laptop and write up some answers. It won't be an accurate one, but it's really time to finish that work marathon. After all, he doesn't even get paid for his time. Ethan nodded to the closed door and turned around, ready to execute the plan. That's when he saw her. Just for a split second, but damn it, he saw her. A black-haired girl flashed in the doorway of one of his rooms. Not even flashed, but drifted like a... Ethan's mouth... Wait, did I skip something? Ethan's mouth went dry. Shadow. Of course, there was no one in the room. This has gone too far. Ethan had gone too far, but he couldn't turn back, even though he was going to. He didn't even make any coffee. He wanted to get rid of that question, get a good night's sleep, and forget about the whole thing. Forget about the shadow that danced in his kitchen. Forget about the pale silhouette that wandered through his apartment. Alright, I forgot, this game's kind of weird. Forget that at this very moment, someone is looking at the back of his head, and that looks makes his skin feel as cold as the kitchen floor last night, and the hairs, one by one, stand on end. Ethan clenched his teeth, not with anger, but with some new emotion he couldn't name. Fear? Fear, little bitch? He feel, little boy? Like, come on. The blood hummed in his ears, louder and louder. It will all be over after he writes the letter. It will be over. He opened his laptop. His hands were shaking a little, and was putting his fingers over the keyboard when his cell phone rang. Ethan flinched. He stared blankly for a few seconds as a vibrating rectangle of glass and plastic crawled across the table. Do not answer. Don't do it. Suddenly he grabbed the phone and pushed the accept button. Ethan himself didn't know how that happened. He just did it. That's all. The phone pressed tight against his ear. He waited for a hoarse, gurgling voice to call his name and tell him to look behind, or what is supposed to happen in cases like this. Hope? Who the fuck are you talking to? Who the fuck are you talking to like that? Yeah, you talking a lot of nonsense. Yeah, I'm uneasy too. And that was completely true. Yeah. You are, and I'm very happy about that. Go on, please. Look. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm being awful. Both of us have it hard now, so let's try not to fight, okay? That was her again. Great idea. Oh, so that's what's driving me nuts. Should go out for zucchini for more often. Okay, we're going to buy all the zucchini tonight. Hope laughed. Ethan suddenly realized that the blood wasn't buzzing in his ears. No one was looking at the back of his head, and if he turned around, he would only see Hope's socks that she'd left on the chair again. Hope? I love you. Very much. That reminds me of Clan Ad. I'm currently watching that right now. If you know, you know. After finishing the call, he turned around. The socks were resting peacefully on the chair, which meant everything was okay. He went back to the mall and only then noticed mail, and only then noticed several new letters. 2 of them were from his counterpart. Ethan hesitated. He had already decided his course of action concerning the question, so there was no harm in taking a look. He won't feel any guilt. After all, he had already done far more than he should have. Of course, he is a lifesaver for those wanting to sell books mentioning historical accuracy, but having no intention to pay for it properly. And so what? Wait, I don't know what he's talking about. He doesn't have to do a perfect job for free. Hell, he doesn't even work for free. That's what Ethan thought. Then he opened the 2 letters he got and changed his highly reasonable decision. His counterpart was asking how soon he would get an answer. So this happened, after all. The tone was very polite and apologetic. He wasn't expecting anything, but he really, really needed the help of someone competent. Is he calling his girlfriend incompetent? According to the emails, he wasn't doing very well. The poor man had been suffering from insomnia for an insane amount of time, and it seems that he, too, began imagining things. It was as if Ethan saw himself from the outside. He suddenly felt very sorry for his acquaintance. Of course, he had begun to feel sorry for him earlier, but now Ethan felt a sharp, bitter pity. He realized that if he helps his acquaintance, he will help himself. But if he steps back now, what is the value of a specialist who is afraid of a little challenge? Challenge is a change. As Hope once said, the career ladder is made of thorn. Of course, he no longer worked in an office, but professional growth requires twice as much effort if you're self-employed. And besides, Ethan had Hope. Hope who never gives in so easily and forgets her socks on the chair. Hope who loves him very much. Hope who will go to the store with him tonight, because being cooped up like that can drive one crazy. This must be what was happening to his acquaintance right now. Ethan had to help him, not because of money, but because he could, and because it was the right thing to do. They will both finish their projects, and then they will have a good rest. They might even go out for a glass of beer together. So Ethan thought, and got back to the question with the newfound strength. I don't know what I'm reading. I'm just reading. I think why I'm lost is because they need commas at certain areas. Yeah, I think it's a lot of run-on sentences. That's what it is. I'm starting to realize why I'm getting bad grades in English. But that's not the point. Hope looked up for her magazine and leaned over the armrest. Ethan just got back from the shower. He froze in place, clutching the towel at his waist. Something cold stirred uncomfortably in his stomach. The project. He had completely forgotten about the agency project, and it had been more than 2 weeks. The deadline was very close. He started for the phone, but Hope just waved her hand lazily. What did you tell them? Wow. Yeah. Put me on and again. Just don't pick up my phone again, okay? Hope shrugged. That was kind of weird that you did that, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, okay. Well, Ethan, now you're the one who was weird. When I just started working for them, it was important to let them see I am always in touch. Now that I've passed the probation period, there is no point in piling this on you any longer. Thank you for covering for me. No, you really shouldn't. This project is complicated. I'd rather deal with it myself. Ethan set rigid. He never considered himself a good liar, but Hope didn't seem to notice anything. She sighed, pretending to be upset, and rolled her eyes. Damn straight. Yeah, you're fired. You're fired. Ethan leaned over, tucked a strand of blonde hair behind her ear, and looked into her eyes. His hand remained on Hope's cheek. Your help is very important to me. He's raising her up right now. Hold on. Hope's hand went over his. She closed her eyes. I couldn't have done it without you. Hold on, so he has Riz? Like, he wasn't doing this with the cat girl. Not that I wanted him to do anything with the cat girls. I'm completely against that. But, like, you know, he had no Riz when she was there. Are we still going to the store? They reached for each other again, but the phone gave a shrill ring. After the phone call this morning, Ethan turned the silent mode off. Oh well. My city needs me. Is a parade inside my city? Okay, I'm sorry. Hope sighed and slapped his ass. What? That was a crazy read. Why did I read that, bro? Bro, what am I playing? Like, the call was from the agency. They needed more details and dates. Ethan went, you know, this is worse than Doki Doki Literature Club. I'm gonna say that. Like, but that stuff was weird, but this is weird. No, there is no serious hitches in the work. Yes, he will send everything on time. When the call finally ended, Ethan's neck and face were flushed by this time. He was a lousy liar after all. Ethan had to catch his breath. When he returned to the room, Hope was reaching for his laptop. What are you doing? Hope glanced at him over the shoulder. This time, she looked surprised. Ethan left a bunch of flies and tabs open. They had nothing to do with the agency project, and he didn't want Hope to see them. After all, she did know enough about his projects to serve as a sort of secretary. About all the projects, except the one that Ethan shouldn't have taken because it wasn't paid for. Maybe his fears were irrational. Maybe Hope wouldn't blame him. But Ethan felt ashamed, and he didn't want to take any chances after what had happened this morning. I have lots of unsaved files in there. Some important information might get lost. Can I print those coupons myself? Hope stared at him for a few seconds. Ethan couldn't read the expression on her face, and that creeped him out. He was ready to hear the reproaches? I don't even know what that word is. Bro, I think that's a typo. Like, I've never heard of this. Okay, whatever. He even agreed with them in his mind, but Hope simply walked away. She's so understanding. Need that water. Drink your water, guys. Drink your water. I need that water. Just to make sure Hope was still talking to him. Hope was, though the answers were dry, and she never even attempted to make a joke. It's not that bad, Ethan told himself. It's not that bad at all. If you repeat it again and again, you can buy a little time, but in the end, the anxiety will prevail. It always does. Ethan's mind quickly figured out the owner was trying to trick it and spat out the chewing gum. At that moment, Ethan got caught in an avalanche of thoughts he didn't want to deal with and couldn't in his current state. Something had to be done, to be said. But what? Maybe he should actually do something after all. Ethan imagined touching Hope's fingers, and he immediately saw her pulling the hand back. Her eyes glistening. How she opens her mouth to ask the question Ethan had no answer to. They'd have to talk one way or another. Ethan didn't know where to start without burying himself even deeper. He had been thinking about it the whole way, but never came up with anything. I love visual novels. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. But, like, this one's just weird. The huge supermarket on the next block, a place that had long dubbed the store, was bustling with life. Bustling? Bustling. Despite the rather late hour. As soon as they entered the large glass doors, the tension began to come off on its own. She completely changed outfits. The carts were scarce, but Ethan got them one in exchange for a coupon. Hope gave him a thumbs up with not bad at all expression on her face. That's terrible. Bro wasted his resources for a cart that he was going to return. Like, what? Hope enthusiastically presented a huge, colorful, utterly ludicrous. Please be the right. That's a ludicrous. I think that's what they're going for. Mug. And Ethan immediately agreed they had to buy it. They tried to find a pair for the mug, but a brooding supermarket employee said it was the last one. They were a little disappointed, but, well, at least that was something. Looking for the mug was the thing that finally did the trick. Now they were huddled together, looking for their favorite treats and arguing about which breakfast cereals are the best. That's how it was until they reached the meat department. I'll go pick something out before it's all clear. Hope nodded as absently. She was stuck at one of the big fridges in the middle of the hall. The meat shelves were half empty as usual at this hour. Ethan was hoping to find a steak or some mincemeat. However, he soon forgot about both. What type of angle? There was a girl standing by one of the shelves. Ethan couldn't see her face, only her pale back under the white dress with thin straps, and also her disheveled dark hair. Ethan's cheek was stung with cold, as if the face was lying on the shelf in one of those refrigerated display cases. As if his face. Whoa! Just between the pork ribs and a lone ribeye, and a black polystyrene, I don't know, foam tray. Polystyrene. Is that her? Ethan took a few uncertain steps forward. Then he backed away, almost knocking over a nice old lady. I would have pushed the shit out of her. He couldn't even muster an apology. Grabbed the first thing that came to hand and turned around the nearest row of shelves. He tried not to run because it would have looked too stupid. Ethan explained to himself as he reached the end of the row and peered around the corner. The girl was still picking out meat. The cold no longer burned his cheek, and the girl seemed quite ordinary. Except she was dressed too lightly for the current weather, but that was still not considered a crime in any of the states. Ethan smiled in his own thoughts. Generally speaking, the girl was rather attractive, and her light clothing allowed one to fully appreciate it. Her thin waist passing into a seductive curve of her hips, and beneath the folds of white fabric, one could make out her rounded buttocks. What? I'm not gonna lie, like, he kind of over here obsessing over a furry And he got a bad chick already. Like, what are you... Okay. Hope stood still with two colorful plastic bags in her hands, looking at Ethan questioningly. He blinked several times, and she's not even, like, annoying like that. She's just trying to be supportive. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, he's selling. Like, he's really selling. When did he get back to Hope? Why was he holding a bottle of Thousand Island dressing? I don't know. He was a little dizzy. Yeah, never mind. I'm sorry. I was just lost in thought. Hope tried not to look in the direction Ethan had been focusing on for so long. She really tried, but sometimes trying isn't enough, no matter how much effort you put in. At that very moment, the dark-haired girl's light white dress was floating away from the meat shelves. She must have finally made her choice. She's agitated by that. Oh, she don't like that. For a moment, Ethan thought both colorful plastic bags were about to slap him in the face. But Hope just smiled and tossed the bags into the cart. Ethan heard them crunch loudly as they hit the bottom. Oh yeah, she's real. She's messed up about that. They haven't bought any zucchini. That night he had another dream about the White Room. The walls were still trembling softly in the cold light. Everything in the room, including the air, was oozing tension, anguishing in anticipation of what was about to happen. And something was really about to happen, no doubt about it. Ethan suddenly realized he was looking at the room from an odd angle. He seemed to be standing on something, but he couldn't feel anything under his feet, no support. He tried to look down, but only saw the shimmering air. How did you see air? How did he see air? How did he see air? As if he was not there. Or rather, he was the shimmering air, the chip ceiling and the walls that were still trembling. Oh, that he was the shimmering... Okay. He was the red sofa, standing a little away from the center. And a cup... He was the red sofa? What? And that should not have been there. Nothing can be done about it. Now, the doors have appeared. There is nothing that can be done about it now. Doors? The light grew dim, now pulsating noticeably. It was emanating from the room in its entirety, reflecting from the white walls, but most of all from the twin bra on the wall between two doors that were not supposed to be. For some reason, Ethan tried to catch the rhythm of the light with his breath, yet he couldn't. There were two figures sitting on the sofa. One fair, the other dark. The fair one was Hope. Hope, what are you doing? You can't be here. You have to leave right now, or something will happen. The pulse of light became faster. The dark one moved towards Hope and tucked a blonde strand behind her ear. Everything was happening very slowly, as if underwater. There was something odd about the dark one. Something about her was wrong, but Ethan couldn't guess what. She leaned towards Hope's ear and covered her mouth with her hand, and Hope leaned towards her and listened very carefully, as if they had a mutual secret among themselves. Something was about to happen. They both looked at Ethan. Even though Ethan wasn't there, it wasn't here, or rather he was nowhere, because no white room ever existed. Then one of them smiled. The dark one's finger slid down Hope's chin, a soft rounded line. They were no longer looking at Ethan, only at each other, very closely, and were slowly inhaling the light. Okay. The dark one. What is going on? What is going on? Ethan saw drops of saliva glistening on their lips. Can we just get past this? The dark one licked her lips and raised her tongue to make space for a long black snake as if it got out of her mouth. The snake swayed, tasted the air with its own tongue, and reached out to Hope. Hope closed her eyes. Hope reached for the band that... I'm not reading this. I'm not reading this right now. Yet there was no snake. It's just a black ribbon, a poisonous ribbon, covered in scales. That water, bro. She has a number of faces. That's a clue. The bodies of two girls merged on the red sofa. His own flesh was shaking and shrinking. Ligaments, valves, bones, vessels, and places where they came very close to the shabby. What? His heart rate became faster. What is going on? Faster, faster. And then something happened. Ethan woke up. His breath was bubbling in his throat. The ceiling above him was flaring with immeasurable darkness, and down below his stomach he felt a searing heat. The heat was so intense Ethan had to sneak into the bathroom, and as his old man used to say, he had to squeeze it off. No. And not just once, but No, just gonna ignore that one completely. After that, Ethan loamed over the sink and was looking at himself in a small rectangular mirror for quite a while. At some point, his lips started trembling. Ethan did not wait to see where this was going. He spat into the sink, let the water in for a while, then he turned the lights off. Ethan didn't want morning to come. He didn't want to wake up, to see a hidden grudge in Hope's eyes, to listen to the awkward silence and to seize every opportunity to say a word to break it. But morning did come, and Ethan was in for a surprise. Everything was fine, very much so. Hope got up early to make a superior breakfast, the kind Ethan was never able to cook, even when he really wanted to. She was talking to him. She was joking. She listed at least 10 places they would go when their schedules became more relaxed. The nightmare seemed to be over, simply washed away down the drain with the rest of all things excessive he used to have in his body. Then Hope asked a question. Yo, she was tight about that stuff at the grocery store, bro. See? That's how you know, bro. She's still mad about that. The coffee suddenly turned solid and stuck in his throat. Ethan felt as if it wasn't coffee at all, but finely ground glass. He coughed. What? Hope put her elbows on the table and sipped from her cup, as if nothing had happened. She's either gonna talk about the girl or ask about the hair color again. Watch. To which he'll respond stupidly, "Why do you want to go brunette or something, right?" I don't know. Or yeah, I don't know. That was a good one too. I'm fine with everything as it is, as long as you like it, I guess. Tiny pieces of glass were still scratching from the inside. Ethan tried to clear his throat, but it didn't get much better. But why were you thinking about it? He shouldn't ask that. He just opened the door. Ethan struggled to speak. He felt as if he was falling into a pit, and the air was whistling in his ears. Look, she's got him in a divine... Oh, maybe she doesn't have... Okay, maybe she's not going to bring it up. She took another sip. It's over. He's done. Nope. It's over. Even before Hope tapped her neck with the edge of her hand, Ethan knew where the hand would stop. And so... Oh. She wasn't smiling. This isn't happening. This just... He must still be asleep. This is a dream, just a shitty dream, and it will end. Now Ethan desperately wanted morning to come, but morning just couldn't come for the second time in a day. Hope leaned back in her chair and looked at him with her head on one side, a fake smile smoldering on her lips. Something had to be done about it, all of it, right this moment. It's better not to lie. Look, something strange is going on. Hope, I'm serious. Something strange is going on and I have no explanations. Neither good nor bad, none at all. Wait. I'm not saying that yesterday in the store. Ethan stopped short. He took a deep breath and closed his eyes. I'm not saying I didn't stare at that girl. I did, and it's obvious. Yeah, look at her! She was tight about that! I was trying to. She reminds me of someone, and I was trying to figure out if I was mistaken. I know what it looks like, and it's my fault. It is my fault. Ethan decided to omit the part about well-rounded buttocks under the light fabric. Bro, get your head out the fucking gutter. Like, what the? Not because he wanted to look better, but because he knew it would hurt Hope. And he really didn't want to hurt her. Please forgive me if you can. I did a shitty thing, but I'm really sorry. He put his hand on the table so that their fingers touched a little. Hope didn't move away. Next time we go shopping, you can stare at everyone you like. I'll try my best not to cry. Can't promise anything though. I don't like Ethan. Hope winced, but Ethan knew she was hiding a smile. But okay, Hope has nice jokes though, but like Ethan, I don't stand a chance, do I? She smiled wider and ruffled his hair. And about the hairs, Hope's smile disappeared without a trace. I don't know where they came from. Seriously, there's something wrong here. No, listen, please. I really think that some intruder is getting inside our apartment somehow. Do you believe me? Hope looked at him for a while. Then she shivered. I don't understand how this happened, or what they want, but I think it's time to call the police and let them sort it out. It's their job after all. Yes, I'll do that as well. Hope pressed his hand. Why did she say it like that? Like, you gotta read, bro. Yeah, you start questioning. You're the one who started questioning. Ethan nodded. Yeah. Hope pressed his hand again. Should I meet you after? Hope. I love you. Ethan nodded absently. When the door shut behind Hope, Ethan called Laura. Hope found Laura a long time ago. Seemed like Laura helped her a lot. At least that's what Hope herself said. After all, psychotherapy is a very personal matter. Yeah, I'm losing a little steam. I'm not gonna lie. To Ethan's surprise, when he mentioned disturbing emails from his contact that were kind of getting on his nerves, Laura perked up. You're saying you've recently become quite close to your acquaintance? You empathized and tried to help him, right? Well, yes, something like that. And your contact's letters contained vivid, disturbing imagery, yes? Imagery that evoked a certain response from you. Is that right? You could say that. He's a writer, after all. Vivid images are his livelihood. What the fuck? Do you know what induced delusional disorder is, Mr. Harrison? Ethan tried to recall. He definitely read about it, but didn't look into it in too much detail. Is that the thing that explains mass insanity? Like that dancing plague of the 1518 in Strasbourg? That's right. This disorder is also called folia dix. Folie? You know what folie do? We're gonna call it folie do. Or madness of two. Madness of two? Sounds romantic, doesn't it? No. Why are we giggling about that? Ethan thought she herself was not at all too sane. Yeah, of course she wasn't. She has to deal with the guys like me all the time. But Laura had already returned to her usual tone, calm and measured. This condition causes perfectly healthy people to experience various, let's say, negative effects. It works like this. We have a source of delirium. Those who perceive it, one or more people. As you correctly noted, sometimes this disorder can take on a truly massive scale. There is usually an emotional connection between the victims of this condition. Your wife is also at risk, unfortunately. Laura paused. I can't make a diagnosis in such a format, Mr. Harrison. However, I think you need to limit contact with your acquaintance, at least for the time being. He might be the source of the unpleasant state you are experiencing. Would you like to make an appointment for a consultation? I didn't see how they spelled it. Ethan politely declined. Laura listened to the rest of what he had to say. She asked what pills Ethan was taking. Ethan wasn't taking any except aspirin because he had a lot of headaches lately. He'd been taking sleep medicine. He's not adding that part. She advised him to reduce the workload and to follow the daily routine and take light sedatives if necessary. Without meeting in person, there wasn't much Laura could offer, and Ethan had no energy, time, or money to start the full-on therapy, as Hope called it. Ethan thanked Laura with all his heart, finished the call, stretched, and took a deep breath. That made his ribs ache. Then he smiled. Though no full-on therapy was involved, this conversation still made Ethan feel much better. Okay, I'm taking a break from talking. No, sorry, nothing he couldn't handle. That's an easy sentence. Ethan felt the small hairs on his neck standing up. Someone was looking at the back of his head. Ethan turned around slowly. Hold on, I gotta do it in Ethan's voice right now because I just know it sounds like this. I'm calling the police! Ethan spoke each word loud and clear. It was a decent plan. An actually decent one, and it certainly wasn't funny in any way. And yet the girl sitting on the windowsill was silently laughing, covering white teeth with her hands. With her hand? The girl from the supermarket. The girl from the dream. She was still wearing a light white dress, even though in the morning the temperature dropped to 53 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was going to rain. One of the straps fell down to the side, but the girl was in no hurry to put it back. She swung her crossed legs She swung her crossed legs a little. Wait, why'd it go? Did I say something funny? The girl quickly raised her eyebrow and shrugged slightly, still holding back the smile. Oh, the music's getting... Just as before, she did not make a sound. Ethan even assumed she could be mute, but decided to make one last attempt. Just one question. Then he calls the cops. Oh, that's hard. How did you get in here? The girl put her lean finger with a neat black nail to her lips, while the fingers on her other hand shaped a figure of a man. What? She pointed at the figure with her eyes. Ethan felt sick of the farce that was happening. He thought he should call the cops. Immediately, the hand clutching the phone continued to hang limply. The finger man looked around and started walking along the window slope with his finger legs, whatever. 1, 2, 3. What? Then something else happened. Ethan failed to understand what it was. I failed to understand what it was. The next moment, the finger man was walking on the sill, and the girl was making it with her other hand. Then she smiled wildly and put both palms on her chest. She looked absolutely happy. Her voice changed. Suddenly, she cast a gloomy look at Ethan. Her black eyes gave a cold glimmer. What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? A moment later, the girl reached for something behind her back, quickly pulled it to her lips and took a sip. Ethan's throat became tight with blood that abruptly rushed to his head. How did you get this? The girl traced Ethan's gesture with a genuinely surprised look, and the next moment she parted her fingers. Hope's huge colorful cup, the one they just got at the store, tinkled hurtfully as it struck the floor and then shattered to pieces. Just like that, there was a brief moment where the cup was lying peacefully on the floor. Ethan got enough time to hope it would endure the fall, and then the fragments burst everywhere at once, as the furious white light broke out from inside. But no, that was milk. Just some milk. Bitch, you broke it! What you mean it's now look? Like, what? You broke it! She talking about now look. Ethan was suffocating. Well, I mean, I would be too if my life was flashing before my eyes. What the hell are you doing here? What do you want from me? The girl bit her lip and twisted a fallen shoulder strap between fingers. The top of the dress slid even lower. Do you want me to leave? But I may run into Hope. What the fuck? How do you know that? What the fuck? Why is she holding her ass like that? Don't even make sense. Okay, can we get past the scene, please? The girl turned over her shoulder and leaned on the windowsill and waved vigorously to someone invisible. Her dress completely slid down. That bitch. Ethan would bet her tits are flashing right through the window. This fucker is horny and like she is blackmailing. We're gonna end the episode here, guys. We're gonna. I guess we'll decide. Whatever. Drag her. She will stop. Yeah. Okay. She will stop right now. He was going to grab the girl's arm and drag her deeper into the room. Maybe he would have clenched her shoulder much harder than necessary. Alright, we'll stop it now. We'll stop it right here.